doing well. I am the Naturalist Gamer, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at some of the improvements to alternate species slash alternate genuses. Now, with the ontogeny system being implemented in Update 14, the devs were able to actually improve a lot of the alternate species and alternate genuses that are present in the game, which really helps further differentiate and make them each feel like unique animals than they did before. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and take a quick look-see. So first off, we have, of course, the classic T-Rex, Tyrannosaurus Rex, and the Tarbosaurus. Now, a lot has improved. As you can see, the Tarbosaurus now has a much more narrow profile for its skull. I don't know if this was intentional, but the arms do seem a little bit proportionally smaller, or I could be tripping, because in reality, Tarbosaurus actually had smaller arms in proportion to the rest of its body compared to T-Rex. But yeah, this is incredible. It definitely looks more aligned with what we know Tarbosaurus skull would have looked like, and it's not just a carbon copy of the Tyrannosaurus Rex anymore, so that's always good. Up next, we have both species of Plateosaurus. Now, I think this is Plateosaurus. I don't remember the exact species. I'll have to look it up again. Oh wait, no, this is Gracilis, and this is like some crazy German name I can't pronounce. Anyways, you'll notice that the skull shape's a little different now. This one is almost more of like a beaked look to it, whereas this one's much more like smoother and round. And yeah, I love using this species, especially in my zoos that feature like smaller animals. But again, this change is really great. It helps make both species of Plateosaurus feel unique. Moving on, we have the Camarasaurus. So from left to right, we have Lentis, Grandis, and Supremus. Or sorry, no, we have Grandis, Lentis, and Supremus. And you'll see that anatomy-wise, a bit has changed. So Grandis has been made to be a lot more leaner and almost sleeker. And then on top of that, its skull shape is much more smoother now. Whereas Lentis still has the more traditional-looking skull shape. And it seems to be like in a good middle gradient between the two, and Supremus has been bulked up significantly. Even the neck looks a little thicker too, and the head is a bit more bulbous and round on the top, almost closer to like a stereotypical Brachiosaurus opposed to like Camarasaurus. And you'll also notice that the snout's a lot more like round and robust too. Alright, so those are the three Camarasaurus species. Moving on, I think this dinosaur out of them had the most drastic change, but that would be the Paraceratherium, both species of Paraceratherium, and the Charonosaurus. As you can see, the walkeri has remained the same of course, but this species right here, I can't pronounce his name for the life of me, but it starts with a C. This is the same one that lives in Kaparowitz alongside animals like Nasutoceratops. And you'll notice that not only has the crest, which has always been shortened and improved, but also this overall skull has been rounded as well. And what I also love about these is that each individual, like each species has their own individual baby skin, which is always great to see. And then Charonosaurus has improved the most in terms of its crest, because it initially just had the same crest as walkeri, but now it has a much more shortened crest, similar to what was discovered with the Plateosaurus, I believe is how you pronounce the name of that newly described hadrosaur. On to the next one. Now, I can't really tell if they actually changed the lions. They definitely, yeah, it's hard to tell just from a quick glance. So it looks like the American lion was bulked up a bit, so I'm not sure if they actually implement any changes to this one. But the big cat that they did implement changes to was Smilodon, and this mammal out of them all, I feel like this and one of them I'm going to show you in a bit had the most significant improvement. So basically, Smilodon fatalis was the exact same as Populator except scaled down, but now they've done a lot of improvements to it. It's much more sleeker, just like it would have been in real life. And on top of that, you'll notice that the head shape is a little bit different too. It has a much more forward and less boxy skull compared to Populator. The teeth are a little bit smaller too, but also you'll notice that they added like some like scruffy fur around the face as much as they could, which I appreciate. I like that they further differentiated the two species. Moving on, we have Sinotherium and Elasmotherium, and now I might actually be wrong about this, but from first glance, it looks like they lowered the hump on Sinotherium compared to Elasmotherium. It's definitely more noticeable when you had like the skin with like the longer horns, so maybe it might have just been like maybe it hadn't that change. It's just that the hump on the other Elasmotherium skin is just that much more pronounced. So, yeah, but then our final mammal that has changed the most has definitely been Paraceratherium. Now, at first glance, you might not notice these changes, but Buctince and Trensaur alicum are very different species, and they actually have very different skull shapes. And so the devs were finally able to implement that here. You can see that Buctince has that more like classic walking with, or sorry, not Buctince. Trensaur alicum has that much more classic walking with beast looking skull, whereas this one, it almost looks kind of rectangular. But I mean, I am glad that they implemented this, because in the real world, this is closer to what the animal skull would have looked like. Skull shape would have looked like. So I'm glad that they added that change. And yeah, with that said and done, Update 14 brings more than just the adorable baby animals. It actually brings in a lot of improvements to quite a few alternate species now, and alternate genuses, which will be a lot of fun seeing in our parks again. And it helps so much, because every time you build for these, it actually feels like you're building for a separate animal now. So I really appreciate the work that the devs have put into this. So yeah, let me know in the comments below which alternate species change you like the most, and as always, thank you for watching.